Congratulations! Your body is the most efficient yet completely blind industrial waste disposal plant. You read the ingredients on the label like an expert, searching for organic. But in reality, food giants are feeding you what's usually swept off the floor of a slaughterhouse or a sawmill. You've been sold a beautiful illusion. You think you're eating a strawberry dessert, but you're actually digesting secretions from a beaver's rear end and the shells of crushed beetles. You might cringe at a hair in your soup, yet you'll happily chew on bread made with human hair and feathers. To corporations, you're not a gourmet. You're the final destination for trash they've managed to legalize under pretty names like Carmine or cellulose. Today, we're going to break down 33 garbage ingredients that you consume every day. Move your food away from the screen. You're about to lose your appetite for a long time. Kicking off our freak show is product number 1. Gelatin. Ah, that delicate, wobbly jelly, those cute gummy bears, those airy marshmallow clouds. It seems like innocence itself, the quintessence of a children's party. We give it to our kids, we eat it ourselves. It's in aspics, cakes, and yogurts. So light, so diet-friendly. A health nut's dream. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? Well, think again. Gelatin is actually the essence of the slaughterhouse. It's the boiled-down concentrate of cow and pig hides, rendered into a glue-like substance. It's a broth of hooves, bones, cartilage, and tendons. The leftovers that weren't even fit for dog food go into your dessert. Picture a giant vat, boiling with the remains of thousands of animals. It's like a scene from a horror movie. Except at the end of the process, you don't get Frankenstein's monster, you get your favorite gummy bears. We've been convinced it's pure protein. And technically, it is. It's just protein from the trash can. Good luck explaining that to your inner connoisseur. Product number 2. Carmine, also known as E120. We see it every day. It gives foods that seductive, deep red color. Strawberry yogurt, cherry juice, red lollipops. It's even in sausage to make it look appetizingly meaty. It seems like a harmless food coloring. What could be wrong with a color? Maybe it's made from beets or cherries? The reality is far more mundane and disgusting. This noble ruby hue is ground-up corpses. Yes, you heard that right. It's the dried and powdered bodies of female beetles, specifically the cochineal insect. They are harvested from cacti in Peru and the Canary Islands. Then they are killed, dried in the sun, and pulverized. To get just 1 kilogram of this dye, about 150,000 insects have to be killed. We live in the 21st century. We have synthetic dyes. But no. It's cheaper for manufacturers to hire people to collect beetles and feed them to us under the guise of a natural ingredient. Congratulations, your strawberry dessert is actually a beetle cemetery. Product number 3, Shellac, or E904. Have you seen those shiny, glossy, candy-coated sweets? Or those perfectly smooth apples in the supermarket? They gleam as if they were polished by a jeweler. This shine comes from a special substance, shellac. It sounds almost chic, something expensive and exclusive. Surely it must be some special food-grade lacquer developed in a secret lab. Now for the harsh, sticky truth. Shellac is excrement. To be more precise, it's the resinous secretion of female lac-bugs. These insects live in India and Thailand. They feed on tree sap and, well, they excrete. These secretions harden on tree branches. They are then collected, purified, and turned into that glossy coating. It's used not only on candy, but also on furniture and musical instruments. So, essentially, we're eating the same varnish that's on an old grand piano. Only the manufacturer calls it a confectioner's glaze. It's a genius move, selling us insect feces disguised as luxury. Your shiny lollipop just lost all its charm. Product number 4, Castoreum. This flavoring has a noble ring to it, almost like the name of a Roman emperor. It's used to give food a rich vanilla or raspberry taste. Ice cream, baked goods, syrups, chewing gum. On the ingredients list, it's usually hidden behind the modest phrase, natural flavoring. We all love natural. It's synonymous with health and quality. If it's natural, it must be made from vanilla beans or fresh raspberries. Makes sense, right? Absolutely. But the food industry has its own twisted logic. Castoreum is a secretion from the anal glands of a beaver. Yes, you understood correctly. It's a fragrant liquid beavers use to mark their territory. It comes from sacs located right next to the anus. In the past, beavers were killed to obtain it. Now, they've learned how to milk them. Imagine that job title. Beaver Gland Milker. Sounds like the name of an underground rock band. So next time you're enjoying some vanilla ice cream, just remember, its aroma might just be a friendly hello from a Canadian beaver's backside. Product number 5. L-cysteine. This is an additive put into bread to make the dough more elastic. It helps buns come out fluffy and stay fresh longer. We buy this bread and we're delighted. So soft, so airy. It just melts in your mouth. Thank goodness for progress and modern technology. The package modestly lists it as a dough conditioner. Sounds perfectly safe. Well, prepare yourself. This conditioner is most often synthesized from 2 sources. The first is duck and chicken feathers. They are treated with acid to extract the necessary amino acid. The second source is even more piquant. Human hair. Yes, real human hair. It's collected from barbershops and salons across China and India. Then, it's dissolved in acid in the same way. This practice is banned in Europe, but in the US and many other countries, it's perfectly legal. So, when you're eating a delicate croissant, there's a chance you're chewing on the processed hair of a complete stranger. It's not even cannibalism. It's some kind of barbershop horror story. Bon appetit. Product number 6. Cellulose. We encounter it everywhere, especially in pre-shredded cheese sold in bags. Ever notice how it never clumps together? Every shred is separate. How do they do that? Magic? A secret recipe? The manufacturer calls it an anti-caking agent on the package. It sounds very scientific and respectable. Surely it must be some complex and expensive component. The truth is much simpler and cheaper. Cellulose is essentially wood dust. Wood pulp ground into a fine powder. It absorbs moisture very well. That's why the cheese doesn't stick together in one big lump. It's also added to sauces as a thickener, to ice cream for volume, and to diet bars to create a feeling of fullness. After all, fiber is good for you. They convince us it's healthy fiber. But they fail to mention that it's the very same fiber used to make paper and cardboard boxes. We pay for cheese and we get cheese diluted with wood. It's like buying a Rolls-Royce and discovering the body is made of papier-mâché. They're simply playing us for fools. Product number 7. Isinglass. Beer lovers, this one's going to hurt. Especially those of you who drink British ales and stouts. Have you ever wondered why your beer is so clear? After fermentation, it's naturally cloudy. To make it crystal clear, it needs to be filtered, clarified. There are various technologies for this, but one of the oldest and cheapest methods involves isinglass. The name itself is already unappealing. Now for the details. This substance is made from the dried swim bladders of fish, most often sturgeon. These bladders are processed and dropped into the vat of beer. The isinglass settles to the bottom, dragging yeast particles and other impurities with it. It's then removed. But microscopic particles inevitably remain. So when you're drinking a pint of perfectly clear ale, know this. You're drinking beer that was strained through fish guts. Vegans who drink this beer, thinking it's a plant-based product, are making a mistake. It's as if Darth Vader was secretly a fan of My Little Pony. A complete shattering of expectations. Product number 8. Lanolin. We constantly hear about the benefits of vitamin D3, especially in winter when there's little sun. It strengthens bones, improves immunity. We buy it as a supplement. We take it ourselves, we give it to our children. The bottle says, a source of health and longevity. There's a picture of the sun. It all looks very nice and positive. But where does this vitamin come from? It has to be sourced from something. Most manufacturers use lanolin for this purpose. And what is lanolin? It's the grease secreted by the sebaceous glands of sheep. Essentially, it's sheep sweat and skin oil. It accumulates on the wool. When sheep are shorn, the wool is washed, and this grease is collected. It is then irradiated with ultraviolet light. And from that, we get vitamin D3. So, we are drinking a concentrate of a dirty sheep's sweat. And we pay money for it. Marketers are geniuses. They've managed to sell us an animal byproduct as an elixir of health. That's top-tier skill. I give them a standing ovation. Product number 9. Rennet. Real expensive cheese is a work of art. Parmesan, Roquefort, Brie. They have complex flavors and noble textures. It's considered food for gourmets. For those who appreciate quality. One of the key ingredients in the production of such cheeses is rennet. It's needed for the milk to coagulate properly. Sounds innocent enough. Rennet is just an enzyme, right? It's probably made in a lab, or derived from some kind of plant. Wrong. Traditional rennet is extracted from the stomach of a newborn calf. One that hasn't been weaned from its mother and has only consumed milk. The calf is killed. Its stomach, called the abomasum, is removed. It's then dried, sliced, and soaked. The resulting liquid is the enzyme. Yes, plant-based and microbial alternatives exist. But many elite cheesemakers still use the animal-derived version, considering it the best. So, when we savor a piece of expensive cheese, we are, in essence, eating an extract from a dead baby animal's stomach. How's that for a twist, foodies? Product number 10. Propylene glycol. We see it in the ingredients of cupcakes, snack cakes, and other baked goods. The kind sold in stores. The kind that can sit on a shelf for weeks and remain soft. It's listed as a humectant. E1520. Thanks to it, the pastry doesn't dry out. It maintains its tender texture. We eat a cupcake like this and think, how delicious and convenient. No need to bake it yourself. Just buy and eat. But there's one small, yet very amusing detail. The very same propylene glycol is the primary component of antifreeze. Yes, that liquid you pour into your car's radiator to keep it from freezing in the winter. Of course, the food-grade version is purified. It's considered safe in small doses. But the fact remains. We are eating a component of automotive chemicals. It's profitable for the manufacturer. It's cheap and effective. And us? We're just eating a cupcake with the taste of eternal life. Well, the eternal life of the cupcake, not ours. It's like dressing a salad with motor oil. Just with a vanilla scent. Product number 11. Pink slime. Sounds like the name of a monster from a cheap 80s horror movie. In reality, it's a very real food product. Its official name is lean, finely textured beef. It's made from meat trimmings. The leftovers after a carcass has been butchered. This used to go into animal feed. But then someone had a brilliant idea. Why not sell it to people? The problem was that these trimmings are full of bacteria. E. coli, salmonella. A solution was found quickly and elegantly. The mass was washed with ammonia, a gas with a pungent smell, which we know from smelling salts. Ammonia kills the bacteria. The resulting pink substance is then added to cheap ground meat. Up to 70% of the total volume. We buy this ground meat. We make burger patties from it. And we have no idea that we're eating meat scraps that have been bathed in a chemical. This isn't even food. It's some kind of post-apocalyptic pate. Okay, hold on. Let's take a short break. Do you feel that wave of nausea? Feel the urge to throw everything out of your fridge and start living on sunlight? Don't rush. This is only the beginning. We've only been through 11 circles of gastronomic hell, and there are many more to come. Right now, you're like Neo after he took the red pill. Reality turned out to be not as pleasant as the Matrix, but there's no turning back now. You know too much already. So take a deep breath. Drink a glass of water, a clean one, I hope. And let's prepare for the next dive. Because now we're going to talk about what your soda has in common with coal tar. Product number 12. Tartrazine. This is a bright yellow dye, E102. Sodas, candies, chips, cakes, even some medicines are colored with it, to make them look more cheerful. We see this sunny color and subconsciously trust it. Yellow is the color of joy. the color of lemons, the sun, bananas. But in this case, it's the color of deception. Tartrazine is a synthetic dye, and it's derived from coal tar, a byproduct of processing coal, a byproduct of coke production. That is, from the same raw material used to make asphalt, mothballs, and phenol. Yes, it's purified. Yes, it's certified. But its origin is staggering. We are drinking soda made from coal. It's as if elves in their magical forest were making nectar from crude oil. It's absurdity perfected. Product number 13. Bone char. White refined sugar. It's so pure, so snow white. We add it to our tea, coffee, and baked goods. It has become the symbol of sweetness. But have you ever wondered how it gets so white? Because initially, after being extracted from sugarcane, it has a brown color. To bleach it, a filter is needed. And this is where it gets interesting. One of the most common and cheapest filters is bone char. It's produced by charring the bones of cattle. The bones are heated in kilns without oxygen, to a temperature of 700 degrees. The result is a porous substance that is excellent at absorbing color impurities. The sugar syrup is passed through huge columns filled with this char, and the output is a snow-white product. Of course, other technologies exist today, but bone char is still widely used. So when we put a spoonful of white sugar in our cup, there's a chance we're adding a product filtered through the burnt remains of animals. Your cup of cappuccino just got a little bit gothic. Product number 14. Silicone oil, or dimethylpolysiloxane. Sounds like a spell from Harry Potter. In reality, this substance is added to deep frying oil in fast food restaurants, where they fry French fries and nuggets. Why? To prevent the oil from foaming and to make it last longer. It doesn't need to be changed as often. It saves money. A clear win for the corporations. We eat those golden, crispy nuggets. And we have no idea they were swimming in oil with an additive. And now for the cherry on top. This very same dimethylpolysiloxane is the main component of window sealant and silicone lubricant for cars, and even silly putty. The substance is considered safe for consumption, but the very thought of it is unsettling. We are eating chicken cooked with a sealant. This is no longer just food. It's building materials. Soon the ingredients for a burger will be listed as beef, bun, lettuce, cement. And we won't even notice the difference. Product number 15. Sand. Yes, regular sand. Or rather, its purified form. Silicon dioxide. E5551. It's added to instant soup mixes, to powdered creamers, spices, and salt. Why? To keep them from clumping. To keep them free-flowing. It acts as an anti-caking agent. It absorbs moisture. We empty a packet of soup into a mug. Add boiling water. And we have a hot lunch in 1 minute. Convenient. Fast. And with a side of sand. Of course, the amount is very small. And it's considered harmless. It's not absorbed by the body and passes through unchanged. But that doesn't negate the absurdity of the situation. We are being sold food with sand added to it for convenience. It's like buying a bottle of wine and finding a bit of gravel at the bottom. Just for texture. Next time you eat soup from a packet, listen closely. You might hear a faint crunch. It's not the croutons, it's geology. Product number 16. Carnauba wax, another hero of the glossy world. It's used to coat gummy bears, chewing gum pellets, jelly beans, to keep them from sticking together and to make them shine. On the packaging, it might be listed as a glazing agent. Sounds decent enough. This wax is obtained from the leaves of a palm tree that grows in Brazil. It's considered the hardest of the plant-based waxes. And that would be all fine and dandy. But there's one detail. This very same wax is used for polishing cars, to give them that deep, mirror-like shine. It's also added to shoe polish, to surfboard wax, and to dental floss. This means the gummy bear we give our child is polished with the same stuff as the hood of their dad's car, and his shoes. It's an astonishing versatility. Manufacturers found a substance you can smear on a car and also put in food. It's a triumph of cynicism over common sense. Your dessert just passed a vehicle inspection. Product number 17. Chitin. We love that mushroom flavor. Mushroom soup, mushroom sauce, mushroom-flavored chips. That rich, deep umami taste. We assume they use real mushrooms to create it, or at least an extract from them. But mushrooms are expensive. They need to be grown, harvested, and dried. It's much cheaper to find a source of the same flavor elsewhere. And they found it. That source is chitin, an organic substance that makes up the shells of crustaceans. Shrimp, crabs, lobsters, as well as the exoskeletons of insects. After processing shrimp, a huge amount of shells is left over. It's waste. But they've learned how to extract that very mushroom flavor from it, and to make a natural flavoring out of it. So, when we're enjoying our porcini mushroom-flavored chips, it's quite possible we're eating ground-up shrimp shells. It's a brilliant substitution. They sell us seafood waste disguised as a forest delicacy. Sherlock Holmes would be shocked by such a deduction. Product number 18. Collagen in sausage. We buy sausage or hot dogs. We read the ingredients. Pork, beef, fat. Seems fine. A meat product. But the devil, as always, is in the details, and in what's not written on the label. Often, the humble word pork hides not fillet, not even meat trimmings, but pork skins, cartilage, and other connective tissues ground into an emulsion. This is that very collagen. In its pure form, it's a tasteless mass. But if you add a lot of salt, flavor enhancers, and colorings, it becomes quite edible and very cheap to produce. We think we're eating meat, but we're actually eating skin, the kind that would normally be thrown away. It's like buying a leather jacket and then making soup out of it. The manufacturer turned leather production waste into a food product. This isn't just deception, it's alchemy, 21st century alchemy. Product number 19. Blood plasma. Stores are full of products that imitate meat. Imitation crab sticks that aren't made from crab. Ham that looks like a whole piece of meat but is actually glued together from small pieces. How do they glue them? They need a special food glue. And one of the most effective of these glues is blood plasma. It's obtained from the blood of pigs and cows at slaughterhouses. The blood is centrifuged, separating the plasma from the red blood cells. The result is a powder, which is then reconstituted and used as a binding agent. It glues pieces of meat together perfectly, creating the illusion of a solid product. We buy this meat delicacy. We slice it, and we don't even suspect that it was assembled like a Lego set. Only instead of plastic bricks, it's meat scraps. And instead of glue, it's dried blood. Your ham sandwich is essentially a meat zombie, stitched together from different parts and brought to life with chemistry. Product number 20. Bird feathers. Protein bars. Food for athletes and those watching their figure. We're told they're high in protein, that they help build muscle. Sounds great. We eat a bar after a workout, feeling like champions. But where does all that protein come from? From whey? From soy? Sometimes. But there's a cheaper source. Hydrolyzed protein from bird feathers. Yes, chicken and duck feathers. They are collected in huge quantities from poultry farms. It's waste. But with the help of acid and high temperatures, they can be broken down into amino acids. The result is a protein powder, which is then added to protein mixes and bars. It's cheap, and technically, it really is protein. It's just derived from what covers the birds on the outside, not from what's on the inside. We pump iron at the gym to build a beautiful body, and then we fuel up with a bar made of feathers. It's like trying to build a skyscraper out of straw. It looks absurd, but that's what everyone is doing. Product number 21. Urea. Tooth-protecting chewing gum. Sugar-free. With xylitol. Commercials assure us that it helps fight cavities. It neutralizes acids in the mouth. We chew it after meals, taking care of our smile. In the ingredients of some of these gums, you can find a substance called carbamide. Sounds scientific. It must be some useful mineral. In reality, carbamide is the synthetic equivalent of urea. Yes, the very same substance that is the main component of urine. In the body, it's formed during the breakdown of proteins, and it's excreted by the kidneys. Of course, they don't add real urine to the gum. They add chemically synthesized carbamide. It really does help neutralize acid. But the fact itself, they sell us an oral hygiene product that contains a urine analog, and they call it caring for your teeth. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline, only on the scale of our mouth. Product number 22. Viruses. We're afraid of bacteria in food, especially listeria. It can be found in cold cuts, hot dogs, and pâtés, and it can cause serious food poisoning. Producers fight against it. And one of the most modern methods is using viruses, specifically bacteriophages. These are a special type of virus that only infects bacteria. They are harmless to humans. But for listeria, they are a mortal enemy. Special cocktails of these bacteriophages have been developed. They are simply sprayed onto finished meat products, onto hot dogs, onto sausage. The viruses find the listeria and destroy it. The technology is effective, and it's approved in many countries. But let's stop and think for a second. We buy sausage, and we eat a product that has been intentionally infected with viruses, albeit good ones. It sounds like the plot of a sci-fi thriller, where, to defeat one set of monsters, we had to unleash another. Your morning sausage is a battlefield, a microscopic one, but no less epic for it. All right, second break. Are you still here? Haven't run off to the woods to live on roots and berries? Congratulations. You have nerves of steel, or a very strong stomach. Most people would be crying in a corner by now, hugging a bag of buckwheat. But you're holding on. That's commendable. You are the elite, the enlightened, those who are willing to face the truth, no matter how disgusting it is. We have just a little bit left. The final push. The last dozen nails in the coffin of our naivety. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get particularly vile. We're going to talk about cockroach poison in your caviar. Product number 23. Borax, or sodium tetraborate. E285. This preservative is sometimes added to caviar to make it last longer, especially the kind sold in tin cans. It prevents bacterial growth. Sounds useful. We don't want to get sick after all, but there's one small detail. This very same borax is a well-known insecticide, a poison for cockroaches and ants. It destroys their digestive systems, and they die. In the European Union, its use as a food additive is prohibited. But in some other countries, including Russia, it is permitted, with restrictions. So, when we make a sandwich with red caviar, we might be eating a delicacy preserved with insect poison. It's like protecting your house from burglars with radioactive waste. It's effective, but there are side effects. Product number 24. Glycerin. We see it in the ingredients of cakes, pastries, and candies. It makes them moister, more tender. It prevents crystallization. All in all, a useful thing for a confectioner. On the label, it might be listed as E422. We eat a cake like this and enjoy its softness. But where does glycerin come from? One of the main sources of its production is as a byproduct of soap making. When fats are saponified with lye to make soap, glycerin is formed. And what fats are used to make soap? Often, the cheapest ones, including animal fats of not so high quality. That is, the sweet, tender cream on our celebration cake could be made from a component obtained during the production of laundry soap, from the same raw material we use to wash our work clothes. It's an amazing cycle of substances in nature. And in the food industry, your dessert and a bar of soap are first cousins. Product number 25. Titanium white, or titanium dioxide, E171. This colorant gives products a perfectly white, radiant color. Chewing gum, donut glaze, imitation crab sticks, mayonnaise. It makes them visually more appealing. We see this pure white color and think it's the color of milk, the color of purity. But it's the color of paint. Titanium dioxide is the main component of white paint, the very same kind used to paint walls and ceilings. It's inert. It doesn't react with the body. For a long time, it was considered completely safe, but recent studies have shown that its nanoparticles can accumulate in the body and cause inflammation. France has already banned it. The rest of the European Union too. But in many other parts of the world, it's still in use. So, when we chew a snow-white piece of gum, we are, essentially, chewing paint. It's as if Michelangelo decided to eat a little plaster, just because it was white. Product number 26. Smoke flavoring. Smoked sausage, fish, cheese, barbecue sauce, bacon-flavored chips. We love this aroma. We associate it with nature, with a campfire, a picnic. It seems so natural. Often, the packaging says just that. Natural smoke flavor. But what is it? It's the condensate of real smoke. Wood shavings are burned. The smoke is passed through water. Harmful tars and resins settle out. The resulting liquid is filtered. And what you get is liquid smoke. Essentially, it's purified tar, a concentrated essence of combustion. The product is simply dipped in this liquid, or it's sprayed on. And there you have it, a smoked product. Without any actual smoking, it's fast and cheap. We eat this cheese and think it was slowly smoked in a special smokehouse, but it was just bathed in a jar of campfire scent. It's like looking at a photograph of the mountains instead of actually hiking them. It looks similar, but something's not quite right. Product number 27. Gold foil. Sometimes, in high-end restaurants or on expensive desserts, you can see a garnish of real gold, the thinnest sheets of gold foil, or gold dust. It looks very rich, luxurious. We eat a dessert like this and feel like Arabian sheiks. But what happens to this gold in our bodies? The answer is simple: nothing. Gold is an inert metal. It doesn't enter into any chemical reactions. It's not absorbed. It simply passes through our entire digestive system and comes out unchanged. So, we are literally flushing money down the toilet. It is the most expensive and pointless ingredient in the history of cuisine. It has no taste, no smell, no nutritional value. Its only function is to show that you have a lot of money. And not much sense. It's like buying a Ferrari to only drive it to the grocery store for bread. A demonstration of status taken to the point of absurdity. Product number 28. Bee vomit. Honey. We consider it the gold standard of natural and healthy. A gift of nature. An elixir of health. We add it to tea, eat it with pancakes. We use it to treat colds. What could be purer or more natural? But if you look at the process from a technical standpoint, it's not so poetic. A bee collects nectar from flowers. It goes into its special honey stomach. There, the nectar mixes with enzymes from the bee's salivary glands. The process of transformation begins. Upon returning to the hive, the bee regurgitates this substance to another bee. That bee, in turn, swallows and regurgitates it again. This happens several times. The end result is honey. So, technically, honey is nectar that has been repeatedly digested and regurgitated. Bee vomit. Doesn't sound so appetizing, does it? Of course, this doesn't diminish its beneficial properties. But the next time you eat honey, just remember this: it will add a little spice to your tea time. Product number 29. Fungal mold. Citric acid. We see it in hundreds of products: drinks, candies, canned goods. It adds a pleasant tartness. We think it's made from lemons. After all, it's citric acid. It's logical. But producing it from actual lemons is incredibly expensive. So the industry found another way. Today, almost all the citric acid in the world is produced with the help of black mold, a fungus called Aspergillus niger. This mold is grown in huge vats of sugar syrup. It feeds on the sugar. And in the process of its life cycle, it excretes citric acid. The liquid is then filtered, purified, and the result is a white crystalline powder, the very same one we have in our kitchen. So we are sprinkling our apples with the waste product of mold, and we call it citric acid. It's like calling crude oil chamomile oil, just because you feel like it. Product number 30. Bat droppings. Yes, you heard me right. Of course, we don't eat it directly, but we eat what is grown in it. Bat droppings, or guano, is one of the most valuable and concentrated natural fertilizers in the world. It contains a huge amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. For centuries, it was collected in caves and used to increase crop yields. Vegetables, fruits, and grains grown with this fertilizer turn out large and tasty. Today, this is rare, of course. There are cheaper fertilizers. But organic farming sometimes uses such exotic methods. So, when we buy eco-tomatoes at the market, grown without chemicals, there is a microscopic chance they were grown on guano. This isn't a bad thing, it's actually beneficial. But the fact itself makes you think about the complex and invisible connections in this world, and about how our salad might be indirectly linked to the digestion of a bat. Product number 31. The cochineal insect. We return once more to our favorite beetles, because they are not only used for the red color in yogurts, but also in ketchup. Yes, in some types of tomato ketchup. To make the color richer, more tomato-like, manufacturers might add that same Carmine, E120, the product made from those very same ground-up insects. We pour this sauce on our French fries, thinking it's just tomatoes and spices, but there could be beetles in there too. This is done to save money on real tomatoes, because if you use less tomato paste, the color will be pale. The beetles fix that. This is the pinnacle of food cynicism. To dilute a product, and then to color it with insects so no one will notice. It's like making counterfeit money, and then aging it to make it look real. Pure fraud. Product number 32. Recycled oil. The deep frying oil in fast food restaurants. It's used many, many times. At the end of the day, it's dark, rancid, full of carcinogens. What do they do with it? Pour it out. In a perfect world, yes. But in our world, it's often sold to special companies that purify it, filter it, and recycle it. Most of this oil goes into producing biodiesel or into animal feed. But sometimes, illegally, it ends up back in kitchens, in cheap diners, or even used to produce things like chips or crackers. This is called gutter oil. This problem is especially prevalent in Asia. We eat crispy chips, and we have no idea that they might have been fried in oil that was previously used to fry pastries in a train station kiosk for a week. This isn't even Russian roulette. This is a game where losing is guaranteed. Product number 33. Sewage water. In some countries, fresh water is very scarce. In Singapore, for example. There, they've developed a technology called new water. They take ordinary wastewater from the sewer. They pass it through an extremely complex filtration system. Microfiltration, reverse osmosis, ultraviolet irradiation. The output is water that is purer than any spring water. It meets all the strictest standards for drinking water. Some of this water is used in industry, and some is added to the regular water reservoir, and it ends up back in the water supply. People drink it, they cook with it, and everything is fine. The technology is completely safe. But the psychological barrier to drink water that just yesterday was, well, you know, this is the highest level of trust in science, and a complete denial of squeamishness. Your soup could be made with water that has a very rich past. And so, the curtain falls. The show is over. Do you feel that aftertaste? A mixture of disgust, amazement, and dark humor. We are being led by the nose. Every single day. We are sold garbage in pretty packaging. And we pay for it. We are the obedient audience that always buys a ticket to the same show. Maybe it's time to stop applauding. Maybe it's time to start asking questions. To read the ingredients. To think for ourselves. To stop believing in marketing fairy tales. Because the world of food is not a magical land. It's a jungle, where it's not the healthiest that survives, but the most cunning. The one who learned how to make candy from manure. And now for the main question. I've named 33 products, but I'm sure you know more. So, add your own 34th fact in the comments. The one I forgot to mention. Let's build a complete collection for this gastronomic cabinet of curiosities. And don't forget to subscribe, it's only going to get more interesting and more disgusting.